and I used that fake ID more or less to get a job. But how did I get the job? Okay, so I started to ask around. The only thing I knew was gambling, casinos, right? So the logical choice was to get a job as a dealer, right? But I mean, I knew how to deal. I'm pretty good with my hands. I've always playing around with cards and dealing my whole life. I mean, dealing, in card games and in the school cafeteria and all that. So I was always with cards. So I had pretty good hands. So I figured I would be a dealer. So I asked people, well, how do you go? I asked around, how do you get a job as a dealer? And they said, well, you have to go to a dealing school and learn how to deal. And they said it costs $350. Now, I didn't have 350 cents, let alone $350. So I don't know what I'm going to do. So I walked to a dealer school, right? And I'm walking all over the place now. I don't have enough money to get on a bus, nothing. I'm walking everywhere. It's hot. It's sunny. I'm burning. The sun's killing me. And feeling, pretty bad physically, mentally as well. So I get to the closest dealer school, right? And I stick my head in the door and I'm watching, and I see now, after like 2 or 3 days of doing that, I could kind of like sneak in. So I snuck into the dealer school, and nobody said anything because in the casino business, even up to this day, it's a little bit transient, especially for what's known as break-in dealers, because all people end up in Las Vegas, all kinds of reasons. They end up in Las Vegas with a lot of dreams, unrealistic dreams for most people, and then they end up becoming dealers in casinos, right? So that's what my idea was, is to become a dealer in the casino. So how do you do that? The only thing I can do is become a dealer. I mean, there's really nothing yet. That's what I have to do. So how do you become a dealer in Las Vegas? Well, they have dealer schools. I found this out. And they have dealer schools, and they still, to this day, they still have dealer schools where all the dealers you see in a casino, one time they went to school, they took like a 6-month course to learn how to deal cards. Now, as I said before, I had naturally good hands. I was used to gambling, handling cards all my life. So I figured, I'd be a good dealer. But the problem was it cost $350 to go to this dealer school, and I didn't have 350 cents, let alone $350. So I decided, well, let me actually go to this dealer school. I went to the closest one that I could find from where my living quarters were, and I found one, and I just like walked. I didn't really walk in. I like walked to the edge of to the doorway, and I looked in and I saw what was going on. And then after, a couple of days of doing that, I got the courage to actually walk in and try and blend in with the other students who were obviously paying students. And I did just that. So I walked in and I, watched a little bit from a distance. And then, gradually after a few more days, I meshed in good with the group. And I felt like a student. People were asking me my name, and I was talking to people. And it was really pretty funny because, I picked up on it very quickly, and one day the instructor, who never paid me much attention before, he comes up to me and he says, "Would you show these people, some new people that just came in, would you show these people how to deal that particular way in blackjack?" And I said, "Sure." So now the instructor was asking me to help some of the other students, and I was more or less a legal student.